Highway staff absent. Mayor Jones.
Present.
Trustee McGriff.
Here.
Trustee Moore. Here. Trustee Brown Marino. Here. May we all stand for the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a moment of silence? Thank you. Item number 2, public comment.
Marquita Smith.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just wanted to make a quick announcement because I just got this from my boss, Anderson Davis. Wells Fargo, so many homes still going at foreclosure, and we're trying to keep the momentum of these homes going into foreclosure, trying to pretty much subside it. And Wells Fargo just contacted our office and indicated that they have a home preservation workshop, which will be on June 14th. And it's going to be out at Rosemont at the Convention Center. I have information. If someone needs this information, pass to your neighbors, your friends, because we want to stop this momentous bleeding. Severe bleeding that is happening with these foreclosed homes. A lot of it is because people are not being communicated to. They're afraid. Some are embarrassed, but it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Unfortunately, it's the bankers that we need to go after. And Wells know that it's only a matter of time, especially after JP Morgan and their little fiasco. Now they're realizing that the little people are starting to push back. So this information, if we could allow it to be provided so they can get it out to their neighbors and friends, I'll have it available for copies. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Wayne Arnold.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the record, my name is Wayne Arnold. I'm president of the Broadview Zoning Board and a happy taxpaying citizen of the village and unashamed supporter of the mayor and things that we've got going on in the village in terms of progress. My public comments basically are going to be short because I just came to say that as a village, there's been a lot of improvements that happened under the current mayor's direction, and I really am not attending board meetings on a regular basis because of what I have observed in times past being a very vitriolic atmosphere, okay? And my comment basically is for all of the citizens, that we all live in the village, and if this village is going to progress, I think we're going to have to get behind our mayor, behind our leaders of the village to push forward with progressive agendas, especially when I look at developments that's going on in other accompanying villages. That's going to take a much more cooperative environment and much more concern for the overall welfare of the village and not people's personal private agendas. Okay? That's what my public comment is about. Because I come to these meetings a lot of times, and a lot of the back and forth that I hear is people grandstanding and using these meetings as a place to put forth their own personal agendas, which have nothing whatsoever to do with the progress of the village overall. And if that's what you want, I'm against you. Because I'm definitely for having a village where my kids can get a good education, to see a library that's going to be progressing, to see part of this that's doing innovative things, and to see progress in terms of new business coming to our community and having an environment where people want to come and invest in Broadview. I think that's what my comments about today.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold.
Right?
Appreciate it. Donna Barber.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees,
Good evening.
residents, visitors. I have a comment or a question for Trustee Marino. I was told on May 7th at the board meeting that there was an accusation made by you that I used the village credit card for a personal meal at Chili's. My question, first of all, is to ask you, is that if that is true what I heard, that you made that type of a comment?
I made the comment that there was a charge at Chili's, that when I questioned that back in January, the mayor at the time said that this wasn't appropriate and the village would be reimbursed for it. I've also been told that the credit card in question is in your control, which is what I said on May 7th. And I can get you a copy of the tape of exactly what I said if you'd like.
I would like that, because I heard differently. I heard that you said I used it for a personal meal at Chili's.
In fact, I remember specifically saying that this is a credit card in your control, and that we were supposed to be reimbursed for that charge, and that we have not, that I've spoken with our finance director, I've looked at our reimbursed, what's the category? Reimbursed for the village expense, and have gone through the miscellaneous expense book, I'm sorry, miscellaneous revenue, miscellaneous receipts, is what it's called, and have not found any kind of a reimbursement for that. And that's what I was talking about. But as I said, I'd be happy to get you a copy of that.
Yes, I would like to see that. Okay. Also, you and I should not have a problem communicating. You have just stated twice or even more that I have control over that credit card, yet you did not come to ask me about it.
Well, Ms. Barber, let me point out that my comments were being made at the time of your reappointment. It's not something that I just decided to talk about one day. Now, you also had the opportunity to contact me and communicate with me if you felt that I was out of line.
That's why I'm here tonight.
Right, rather than, but I'm saying, if you feel that I need to come to you directly, I would say the same is true.
I don't have a problem. That's why I'm here tonight.
Okay.
So how soon can you and I get together so that I can review what you actually said?
I can make a copy of it for you tonight and bring it here tomorrow.
That
No, I'm
sounds
sorry. I can bring it on Wednesday because I have to be somewhere else tomorrow. I can bring it for you on Wednesday.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barber. Doreen Gordon.
I just wanted to say that thank you to the police and fire chief for their comprehensive report regarding the equipment that they were able to secure at very little cost and almost no cost to the village. And that the fact that they have a defined plan of what they're doing with all of the pieces of equipment impressed me a great deal. I mean, it's all well and good to say, oh, let's go get this, but to have a definite plan of how it's going to be utilized and in what manner and when and how, that to me says a lot for the thought processes of the people that we have heading the fire department and the police department. So I congratulate them tremendously, and I do that on behalf of myself, not my position.
Not your position, just for you.
Not in the position as commissioner, but just as myself, and I was very impressed by that, so good job, guys.
And very well deserved. So, thank you very much. That's all we have for public comments for this evening. Madam Clerk, next agenda item.
Item number 3, consideration to approve the following minutes, May 21st, 2012 regular business board meeting.
Do I have a motion? Motion to approve.
A second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by trustee McGreer, properly second by trustee Morris to approve the minutes of the 7th? Yes. Or is it the 21st? 21st. Do I have any questions or comments from the board, starting with trustee Brown Marino?
No.
Trustee Morris?
No.
Trustee McGreer?
No.
Trustee Benson?
Yeah. What is this? I just want to, this is the same copy as the one we were emailed. Yes. Under new business, number C, letter C, excuse me. We did not vote on this at the last meeting, stating to approve this. And I did not second that motion if it was voted on. I brought my minutes with me so I could tell you who was on that one. hold on, May 21st. I have it on my record that we tabled item C with Abraham making the motion and Hargret making the second, and that it would be tabled until 6/4. So that would be new business, letter C, please. I would like that changed. Hold on. Thank you for the correction with S&I Global. I did not vote, I recused myself. So I just want to make sure that's stated correctly.
What was that, E?
That's item E under new business. I'm not quite sure if that means the exact same thing, did not vote. I don't want there to be any confusion. Let's see. And, hold on, I just want to make sure since we're trying to approve, I would have rather we table. Suspend the regular board meeting, and then another superseding motion was made. Okay, that would be my corrections for this one.
All right, so,
Wait, I have some questions.
hold on one second.
I do have a comment about what Trustee Benson just said about C. You want me to wait until I...
Well, let's get through them all. Did you get all the corrections, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I just noted item C and item E.
Right, because item C is on tonight's agenda anyway.
It is.
Okay,
We're voting on that today, right?
it's on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's obvious that it did not carry, so that's obvious for item C.
I do want it changed.
We're going to get it changed. Trustee Abraham?
I just had misspellings under where it says consideration to approve the following minutes, and then there was a motion made by McGreer. It says building, burning building.
Which letter, trustee?
It's not a letter, it's the motion to approve the following minutes on the first page. You made the motion, it was seconded by Morse, to suspend the regular board meeting, and then it says burning building. The building is misspelled.
Okay,
You seen that one? On the first page.
yeah, there's an extra I-N after the building.
All right, can we correct that? On page 2, under unfinished business, letter A, it has zoning board of appeals, meetings until, can we fix that?
Did you say citation was spelled
That
wrong?
would be under unfinished business, letter A. It talks about it was a motion made by McGreer, second by Benson, the table, and then if you continue reading, it says for zoning board of appeals, meetings until.
She just wants a space.
Yeah, can we fix, what is it supposed to, could we correct that? The grammar or whatever it's spelling. The other one is on page 4. It says in discussion under item C, Trustee Brown Mario, if we could correct that.
So is she referred to as just Trustee Brown or Trustee Brown Marino? Because we got two separate.
Her name is Brown. Her name is Brown Marino.
Okay.
Is that it, Trustee Abraham?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. There are obviously some errors here. Did all of the trustees get this on your iPads, or did you just not read it today?
No, I thought this was corrected, so I was trying to compare this to what I received on the iPad.
Did anybody bother to let the clerk know that there were all these errors, so we wouldn't be going through this in a public meeting?
Well, actually, I did email, but I had to email regarding the business licenses before I could get to this.
No phone calls? All of these errors that you
And when I
had?
did email, I did get a return email saying that I had the wrong email. So I had to email several emails to
When
make
did you
sure I
send
got
these,
the right one.
when did you send this out, Madam Clerk?
I sent the minutes out on Friday,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we
along
had,
with the agenda. I sent the minutes out with the correction that trustee Abraham and Vincent is referring to.
So we have
I will
Saturday or
address item
Sunday.
number C. Trustee Vincent is correct on that one. I will address item number, the discussion. I recorded exactly what trustee Vincent stated. She did not vote. Recuse is not under the Robert Rules of Order, so there is nothing for me to put recuse. Recuse, the definition, as I stated before, used in the court of law. I'll change that.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yeah.
And I just made that as a point here. So you've got all these corrections
I
identified,
don't mean to do it
okay?
in a public setting, it's just I have the 2 days to get this done. I did email this weekend, had some problems with the email. Hopefully we'll get that together, and I can, in the future, send this via email earlier to you. Like on Saturday, if you send it on Friday, perhaps I can get it done to you on Saturday or Sunday.
The whole
But
purpose?
that's still short notice for you at that point.
Well, she could have had it corrected before you walked in here tonight, because she was here early enough to make the corrections.
And I actually
was
thought
here.
this was a correction.
But the whole purpose, we can get a long debate about this. You guys have got the iPads to actively respond and rapidly respond to these issues, so that we don't have these kind of debates in the board
Absolutely.
meeting, and we don't go through all this.
I agree.
Make the appropriate corrections, please, madam. Having said that, with the appropriate spelling corrections and the exception to item C on the agenda, which is on tonight's agenda, by the way, is there anybody else with any other comments to this, except for that particular item and this? Yes, ma'am.
Well, in terms of item C, because I have my notes from the last meeting with me, actually, there was a motion to approve, that was withdrawn, and then there was another motion to table.
Correct.
As long as it stays it on the minutes.
Right, so I just wanted to be sure that we don't just change it to table. There was approved,
Madam
discussion,
Clerk.
and then table.
So we need to put that on.
It's noted on there, President Jones, item C. If you look before, it says amended motion by Abraham and second by Vincent to approve and add the table to this ordinance.
Right.
Madam Clerk, just make the necessary corrections and provide them to the members of the board. With those corrections, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Those minutes are approved with those identified corrections. Madam Clerk?
Item number 4, consideration to approve the expenditures, grand total all funds, $356,741.54.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee Morris, probably second by trustee Abraham. May I have a report from the finance department, please?
Just warrant list.
I got it. Excuse me. Okay. We have AT&T at $3,152.24. Avalon Petroleum Company, $10,365. Blue Cross Blue Shield, $103,362.26. Broadview Westchester Joint Agency, $91,369.20. Bush Line Services, $3,760. Communication Direct, $4,036. Group Industry, $12,938.25. Geno's Plumbing, $20,775. Guardian, $6,889.04. Klein, Thorpe and Jenkins, $2,797.07. Mavis, $6,000. Mercury Systems, $12,481.67. MFA Construction, $8,403.23. Michael R. Conley, $9,750. Norcom Public Safety, $3,375. Sanchez Daniel and Hoffman, $3,832.54. And Valor Systems, $31,400, which is 94% of the bills, which is $334,686.50 of the total.
Which is 94% of the bills paid this month. Any questions or comments from the board, starting with trustee Marino?
Just that, as I've been saying, we don't have a budget in place. It's my understanding that without the budget in place by the end of the last fiscal year, we do not have the authority to spend money, so I have no choice but to vote no on approving the bills.
Thank you. Trustee Morris?
No.
Trustee McGreer?
None.
Trustee Benson?
None.
Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
I'll entertain a roll call, Madam Clerk, on this agenda item.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Harkett is absent. Trustee McGrill?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino?
No.
And the ayes have it to pay the bills for this month.
Item number 5, reports of the village officer will be given at the next board meeting, Monday, June 18th. Item number 6, communication, we have none. Item number 7, unfinished business. Consideration of ordinance amending section 2-6-1, Board Creative Organization of Chapter 6, Zoning Board of Appeals of Title II Board and Commission to allow stipend of $40 per member for the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Do I have a motion? Okay, so there's no motion, so this item will fail for lack of a motion.
Item number 7B, consideration to approve the regular business meeting minutes of May 7, 2012.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably motioned by trustee McGreer and probably second by trustee Abraham to approve the minutes from May 7th. Questions or comments from the board, starting with trustee Marino?
None.
Trustee Morris?
None.
Trustee McGreer?
None.
Trustee Benson?
Hold on. Is this been amended one that I got? Or is this the same one in the email? I do have some corrections, but they are very small. So I will take them up with her after the meeting. No other questions.
Thank you, trustee Benson. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, those minutes will be passed and made part of the record.
Item number C, consideration of an ordinance to establish a comprehensive adult entertainment license standard for the village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Do I have a motion on the floor? Okay, hearing no motion, this item also will fail for lack of a motion.
Item number D, consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 9 Municipal Finance of Title I Administration of the Municipal Code to create a minority and locally owned business participation program for the village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been motioned by trustee Benson and second by trustee Brown Marino to approve this agenda item. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Marino?
Well, the reason that I decided to second trustee Benson's motion was simply to allow us to make a couple of comments. At the last board meeting, I gave some of my concerns having to do with this legislation. My understanding was that if no one made a motion, we would leave this until we were ready to bring it up at a later date. And the comment that I want to make is, as I've read through this and gone through it, it kept coming back to me. Our village right now does a very, very good job of working with local businesses and working with minority-owned businesses So while I could talk about the enormous list of concerns I have with specifics, the overall comment that I want to make is I don't really understand why we feel the need to do this in the first place. Because as it's been presented, it's a very complicated bit of legislation, and it's going to be very difficult to maintain and really do effectively, especially with the staff that we have in the village. So overall, the comment I want to make is that I would hope that Trustee Benson would decide to withdraw her motion to approve, and that this was simply so we could discuss it. But again, I don't understand why we feel the need to actually establish this kind of program. And if we are going to actually pursue it tonight, I reserve the right to go through my list of concerns. But that's the one I wanted to share tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Marino. Trustee Morris.
I don't have any comments.
Trustee McGreer.
Mr. Mayor, can we amend the motion to table this to further?
Just, you have a comment? It's Trustee
No comment.
Benson's
No
motion.
comment.
Okay. Trustee Benson?
It is my motion. I made the motion so we could discuss, because this is the second time it's been on the agenda. And I will amend my motion after the comments I made.
Trustee Abraham? Just for the record, this particular agenda item has to do with the village attempting to put legislation in place to hold contractors that would be doing business within the village of within the borders of Village of Broadview to utilizing minority and local businesses to a certain percentage. It's not about what the village uses and who we hire or who we contract with, but it's here to make sure that those people that would be doing business in Broadview do the same thing that we do. In other words, if you're going to come in and extract the finances out of the Village of Broadview, then at the same point in time, we would expect you to use some minority subcontractors or minority personnel, labor, whatever the case may be, or local contractors or personnel, or a combination of the above. So that's the whole motive behind this, and it's not about the village itself, but about contractors that would be doing work within the village. That's all that is. So I just wanted to make that a matter of record for everyone to understand it. It's not about us, because we know we do a good job, because we make it our business to do so. Ms. Benson, you want to say something at this point on the motion?
Sure. I would like to make an amended motion to table this for everyone so they can get their questions answered and get clarity and understanding to the ordinance.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor of the table?
Aye.
All opposed? This item will be tabled to the next board meeting.
Item number E, consideration to approve a business license application for Haiti Beauty Supply at 1701 West Roosevelt Road.
I make a motion to approve this pending we get our last inspection and they're ready to go.
Second.
Properly motion by Trustee Benson and properly second by Trustee Abraham to approve this business license. Trustee Benson?
Yes, this is Haley Beauty Incorporated at 1701 West Roosevelt Road. It's a beauty supply store and also a general merchandise right down the corner of 17th and Roosevelt. Used to be a beauty supply store there a long time ago, and they moved down, and now there's another one that is seeking to come in that location. I did do my homework on this, as all of them actually, that I look at as far as businesses. They have all of their inspections. I actually went and personally inspected this one because I tabled it at the last board meeting. They have a fire alarm system that we would like hooked up so that the fire department knows whenever there's a fire there, they will know it, because the way it was 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't know if a fire was happening over there, and that's not safe. Now they have it. I got a copy of their contract with me tonight. If the fire inspector doesn't have it, I make sure I give it to him. And also, Scott Carlson, our fire inspector, did give me a letter saying that he would be okay with this action tonight. So believe me, I did my homework. And that's it, unless somebody else got some questions.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Marino?
No.
Trustee Morris?
No.
McGreer?
None.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, the motion carries for that new business in Broadview. I don't see them here tonight.
No, they're not here. I talked to them when I visit, and they asked me if they have to come, and I said no.
Yeah, okay. Madam Clerk?
Item number 8, new business. 8A, consideration of an ordinance adopting Cook County prevailing wage for June 2012 for the village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Properly motion by trustee Benson, properly second by trustee Abraham. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Brown Marino.
No.
Trustee Morris. No. Trustee McGreer.
None.
Benson.
None.
Trustee Abraham.
No, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it.
Item number 8B, consideration of an ordinance approving a settlement agreement by and between the village of Broadview and Don Lapore, McDonald, Mark Sturk, and Olson and Sturk LTD for the village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Properly motion by trustee McGreer, properly second by trustee Abraham. Do I have any questions or comments about this one? Starting with trustee Brown Marino.
Actually, I'd like to defer to the village attorney.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Before we defer to the attorney, I'm going to go through the rest of these and then I'll get to you, Mr. Attorney. Is that okay? Trustee Morris? No. Trustee McGreer? No. Trustee Benson?
No.
Trustee Abraham?
No.
Mr. Attorney?
Okay, here's what I suggest. As I look through this in further detail, I did have a brief conversation with trustee Brown regarding the plan, but basically what I'd like to do, there's two possible ways we can approach this. There's some language in the agreement that I'd like to change. So we can either do it one of two ways. We can do a motion to approve the amount of the settlement subject to my review of the agreement and finalizing it, because I'll have to negotiate a little bit more with some of the other attorneys, or the alternative, we can table it and bring you back a full general release and settlement agreement. What we've done in the past is you have given me authority on other occasions to negotiate the legal language of it. However, I defer to the board, obviously the mayor, to make a determination as to whether I'm comfortable doing that. Won't be the end of the world if we don't get a result today, but we'd like to get it behind us and move forward. So either of those two options. Option A is to approve the amount subject to my review, or B to table it so we have some additional information to the agreement.
Well, trustee McGreer, it's your motion.
I'd like to change my motion to approve it with your further investigation and with the authorization that we've given you, and approve it as we talked about.
So the amended motion would be for the approval of this at the dollar amount with the corrected language in the document based on the attorney review.
Second.
Second. Anybody else with any questions or comments?
I want to be sure that I understand this. So then you would be negotiating the language, other than the settlement amount, negotiating the language of the agreement, and then would it come back to us before it's executed by the mayor and clerk? Or?
Absolutely. I can send it out again for review if there's any objection on that. Obviously, we're not here. I think some of the language you recommended was good, but as I reviewed it again, I found some other things that I would like to add. So I'm more than happy to. What I would like to do is get this done tomorrow. I've got a Word copy that's forwarded out to everyone tomorrow, so they can look at it. If it's acceptable generally, then we'll go ahead and get it signed and set it up.
Well, let me ask you this. Would it be, first of all, is there an upcoming court date, or do we have any kind of dates that we need to work within?
Yeah, my understanding is that the case, again, we're not lead counsel on this, we're just here for the purpose of the ordinance. There's others that were involved in the meeting, our insurance, other people that have been involved in the litigation. So I believe there's a court appearance tomorrow, so we can give them some sort of direction as to which way we're going. So again, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but we'd like to, get this, beyond us, obviously.
Would it be, let me ask you this, would it be inappropriate to say that, basically, I don't want to hold this up, but I also would like an opportunity to be sure, with whatever other language there is, see if there's any other concerns that I have.
Yeah, I have no problem forwarding the document to all the trustees and the mayor tomorrow.
I just think that if the, go ahead, trustee.
Let me just say this, and then my thought is, if none of the trustees have, or board members have any concerns or objections, by all means, go ahead and execute it and settle this as quickly as possible. Is there a way to actually phrase that? Or just,
You're giving, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Go ahead.
You're giving me the authority to renegotiate the agreement. However, I want to make sure that the trustees and the mayor are happy with the agreement that we're sending. But for expediting purposes, we've done this before, and we've been able to successfully resolve this type of things.
At the end of the day, if we're not going to be changing the dollar amount, I just think it's prudent for us to get this in the hands of the attorney where he can just make the language changes to the document so that he can have the discussion with legal counsel that's actually representing the village in this case tomorrow, as opposed to tabling it and not being able to tell legal counsel that we've approved it already. You know, so.
and I understand, and actually this kind of comes back to what I brought up in the ordinance itself on page 3, where it says the settlement agreement in a form similar to the settlement agreement attached with such insertions, omissions, changes as shall be approved by the president or corporate authorities, and I asked it to be and. So that, yeah, I mean, this is, are we still making that change or just leaving it?
Well, that was subject to the new motion by trustee McGreer was to indicate that will be changed to reflect it's the higher review of the document. So that would be the change reflected in a modified ordinance that will occur for a trustee, for the clerk.
Okay, so that, the ordinance itself will be...
Yeah, that's the present pending motion. Trust me, I don't want the document going out
Any other questions or comments from the board? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call on this one, please?
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Harvard is absent. Trustee McGreer?
Yes.
Trustee Morris? Trustee Brown Marino?
Yes.
And that motion carries.
Item number 9, application for the authority to expend funds, we have none. Item number 10, committee report, building and public property, Trustee Abraham.
Good evening, residents. I only have a few items. For public property, the property that is at 2047 17th Avenue has been cleaned up by Public Works after it was used by the fire department a few weeks ago for some drilling, and then, what do you call it? You're doing some exercises, drilling exercises. Okay. So that property has been totally cleaned and everything, the debris has been removed. Also, item number 2, also I want to commend the department heads for the ability to get additional vehicles for their departments. So again, thank you for taking advantage of a program that's out there. If it's good enough for the military, I guess it's good enough for us to use. So again, thank you for going after that equipment and increasing our departments and helping them out. Under the building department, I'd also like to recognize Director Upshaw over basically about his revenues in the building department have been trending upwards. So again, thank you, Mr. Hood, for providing that information. If any of the trustees would like to see it, we can pass it out to you as well. And that his expenses have been decreasing. Also, just recently we received from the building department about Keep Your Home Illinois. We do have a flyer out there in front of the office with the address or the website to do that. It was the hardest hit, and I know Trustee Benson has spoken about it, as well as our clerk. Maxine has said about it as well. Definitely, we're urging residents and anybody to pass this information on to help you stay in your home, because again, foreclosures are an issue in our community, so we just want to make sure everybody still stays here in Broadview. And that's the end of my report, sir.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Our next committee report, Business Committee, Trustee Benson.
Evening, everyone. I just wanted a quick announcement to my resident committee for the economic development. I did email them already, but that meeting will be on the 13th at 6 p.m. for the Economic Development Residents Committee. Also, just some upcoming businesses that will be on the agenda soon, I hope, are Le Juice Bar, which is actually going to be located in LA Fitness. And then the Corner Spot Cafe, which I'm pretty sure you all know about because we've been talking about it for a while now, but I hear their application is coming to me. And the last one is the garage sale. I'm getting notice that our clerk didn't get that information, so if we could make sure our clerk gets the information regarding this garage sale Ms. Brewer would like to have. I definitely want to, I have to give Dave props also, because with the business licenses, he has been definitely keeping me up to date with all of the inspections. Normally, the inspections is just their deal, but I'm looking at the inspections too to make sure that we're not approving something that should not be approved, that is a hazard or something is going wrong. So he's been keeping me up to date. Every time I call him on Saturday screaming, I need this, and he's been working with me on Saturday, because that's really the only days trustees get when we get this stuff on Friday or Thursday to deal with it. So thank you for working with me, because that's my schedule, and working with the rest of the trustees as well with that. And I don't think I have, oh, one more thing. Thank you to the fire department. I see you got your Humvee wrapped for free.
It's going to be, yeah. I'm meeting with them again tomorrow.
Good job. Good job on that. All right, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Trustee Hardwick, Fire Police and Civil Service is absent. Is anyone here?
You got something for? Yes.
Oh, I can say something too. But
You first.
No, you go.
No, after you. Well, one of you's on the committee.
We gonna let him go.
All right. I just wanted to say thank you to the police department for starting the neighborhood watch meetings. We had the second one 2 Fridays ago, and I think a couple of the people in the room here were involved in that, and we're just trying to get the community involved as much as possible. There were block captains chosen, there were area coordinators chosen, and the more people involved in this, the more people that can see what's going on, and the better this program works. There were signs proposed, both window signs and signs that could possibly go on erected posted in the village, and there are discussions about other things going on with that. So I urge you to come out to the next meeting, which I do not have the date for. Maybe, Ms. Williams, do you know that date? June 29th. June 29th, thank you. And that's going to be on a Friday at 6:30, I believe? Correct. Thank you very much. Ms. Williams was one of the residents that was very involved in this, and I'd like to see more of you out. With that being said, Mr. Mayor, that will conclude that portion.
Chief Gardner, you got some news for us? Well, you got some more merchandise? Oh. Let's stand up. Tell them. You forgot. I had to remember for you.
Now, we received some more stuff from the LISO office. We received another defibrillator for the ambulance, which will actually be carried on the fire engine. So 12-lead defibrillator valued at $35,000, $34,475. We paid $60 to ship here. So Zoll just came out 2 days on Friday to certify it, so it's all certified, ready to go. Even the gentleman from Zoll was impressed. He said that thing was brand new, it was still wrapped in plastic, so it's brand new, ready to go. So I think we're up over probably about $330,000 worth of equipment that we received over the past month and a half through the LISO program. So,
You got another thing coming in?
I got
There's only one in Mavis?
the fit test machine.
I gotta tell you your report.
Today. I've been busy.
I tell them his own report. Come on, tell
We
them.
only have one fit test machine for the whole Davis division. So we've got it. So that was also brand new through LISO. It was about a $6,700 item. We use it to fit. We're required by OSHA to fit test all our firemen and actually the police department as well for their millennium masks. So it's a requirement that we have to meet every year. Now we've got a machine here that we can do it. It was actually no cost other than, I believe it was around $20 or $30 to get it shipped here. I believe that one came from Ohio. So now we can get our fit testing done. Free charge. Most towns have to pay roughly $50 per employee to get that done. We can do it for free now with our own machine. So no cost.
Nothing
Still
else?
working on a few other items.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Our next committee report, streets, sidewalks, and alley, trustee McGrath.
I didn't have a real report. We had a presentation. I would like to refer to Director Ames, if I may.
Thank you, Trustee McGrath.
Yes, sir.
Board trustees, good evening. I believe that you passed those down. Basically, just a brief report of some activities right out here in the municipal lot. I have a police report dated the 23rd of May, in which damage was done to the municipal rails and stairs coming into the village by a resident who just totally lost control of the vehicle. That being said, the work to restore has begun, at least with the rails, and there's still some concrete work to be done. However, this is an insurance claim for reimbursements. Allstate insurance is provided for that motorist. In December, we applied for a grant, a green infrastructure grant through the Illinois grant program, IEPA. And basically, the grant was to redo the municipal lot out front, resurface it, provide new drainage, permeable pavements, and so forth. Unfortunately, we were not granted access to any funds. However, we do have a situation, if you look at the proposal, as it relates to some open liability issues that we do have out in the municipal lot. You individuals walk up, you navigate potholes, if you're using walkers or canes, whatever the case might be, it's also an added hazard. So that being said, we asked for a proposal from a few different companies, and what you have in front of you is the lowest responsible proposal. It's not a bidable item because it is underneath the $20,000 threshold, but basically seal coating, line marking, asphalt patching, crack sealing, and concrete replacement is basically what it spells out. So just so that you all will be aware of what it is that we're looking at doing over the next couple of weeks as it relates to the municipal lot. We do have some pending lawsuits against the village in various locations, but this is obviously handled by our insurance providers and their attorneys. We had some residents, or one resident, trip and fall right outside of the post office, and this occurred several months back. And right now, I believe it's at the stage where they're trying to figure out who's liable, whether or not the village is liable, NIC, or the state of Illinois, IDOT, the Maid Brigade, which is the company right there on 17th Avenue, and also one other incident on 17th and Roosevelt. So the point is that when we know about these situations, if there's no plan of action, obviously that opens up the door for civil action against the village. So I'm giving you the facts, the presentations, most certainly it's photographed and everything else, so. Yeah. So we're trying to get the parking lot through public funding, meaning grant dollars. We were not successful. So we do know that this item had been budgeted for, at least in this upcoming fiscal year's budget. So just something for you all to consider.
Excuse me. As I add these numbers up, I'm not sure that I'm following exactly what you're talking about here. We would either be doing the $1,996 plus the $11,388, or the $1,996 plus those other three items. Is that what you're saying?
No. Scope of work, items 1, 2 is definitely going to be done. That's the seal coating and the lot marking. striping, handicap signage, and so forth and so on. The additional line items below, the asphalt patching or the infrared patching. The infrared patching, the difference between the two is one is a more permanent repair. The asphalt patching or the asphalt replacement, in which they let you know that they do a full depth skid steer pavement replacing, grinding, resurfacing, so forth and so on, as opposed to an infrared patching, which has a life expectancy of about 2 to 3 years. So in about 2 to 3 years, we'll probably be right back here at this point trying to redo it all over again. So crack sealing and the concrete replacement. The concrete replacement is something that we believe we can do in-house with the concrete crew that we have now doing flat work throughout the village. So I'm looking forward to removing that line item, but because it was in a general scope of work, we asked them to go ahead and price it.
And when you're talking about remove existing surface area, then are we talking about eliminating the steps so that both sides are more ramp-like, or?
No.
Okay.
No. As a matter of fact, there should be a photograph toward the end. If you go toward the later pages, it should be photographed exactly what's entailed with it.
So just those items?
An aerial view, which is here. It highlights exactly what is to be replaced. This page right here.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you saying that some or all of this would be covered by the insurance, or just the repairs that were made to the railing? And
the railing and concrete, right. The accident is reimbursable by the insurance.
The reason I was asking about the steps, and I apologize, I'm trying to read through these several pages as you're talking, but the reason I brought up about the steps is because I'm aware of at least 2 people that have had serious injuries from falling, not realizing as they're walking there's a step. So it's something that I think if we have an opportunity at some point to address, we should.
Well,
yes,
and I'm glad you brought that up, because we had intended, if nothing else, stripe the edge of the steps so that it could be visualized. And right now, if you walk, it looks like one continuous step. So we do have seniors and people that are not seniors falling down the stairs.
Or up the stairs.
Because it has an optical illusion. So to keep it aesthetics, the thought was to have the color white, but not pink. It would be marked, okay, so that it would be clearly identified as to going up and down the stairs. Are there any more questions as it relates to this?
Yes. With what you're giving us now, is this going to be coming back as a purchase order for the additional work? Or? Okay, so this is just to give us a heads up now. Okay,
Just to give us a heads up. So we didn't want to wait until next board meeting to have it brought before you, and obviously you guys will be asked to make a decision at the next board meeting before the work commences. That being said, have I answered all the questions that were related to the scope of work? If I could digress just for a second, Mayor Jones, I would like to thank those board members and those residents that acknowledged the passing of my father here over the last couple of weeks. I was out of town, obviously, I had a death in my family, but thank you so much for the flowers, for the cards, for the phone calls. And also to those board members that saw fit to reappoint MFA Construction for another year in the position of Public Works Director. I appreciate you all for acknowledging the hard work that we have put in so far. So thank you once again, and that's it.
Thank you, Director Haynes. Madam Clerk?
Finance Committee report, Finance Committee, Trustee Morris.
Good evening, all. I just got a small little something. The Finance Committee would like to report that the semi-annual interest payment on all outstanding debt obligations that were due June 1st were paid on time. Disbursements totaling $215,848.75 were paid to meet the interest obligations due on the following debt issuances. Bond Series 2003B was $151,186.25. Bond Series 2005B, $47,318.75. And the 2011 rollover bond, $17,343.75. The Finance Committee would also like to report that the village received a semi-annual interest income in the amount of $17,430.45 related to the escrow fund currently in trust associates with the bond series 2003A and B. Budget Officer Tom Hood is working diligently with the mayor, department heads to finalize the numbers. The expectation is that the draft budget will be placed on display this week. A public hearing on the Village of Broadview 2012-2013 budget is currently scheduled for July 9th, 2012 at 7 p.m. here in Village Hall, which will include a detailed presentation of the fiscal year 2013 budget assumptions by Officer Tom Hood. A legal notice for the budget hearing and 30-day display period is scheduled to be published in this Wednesday's, which is June 6th edition of the Suburban Life newspaper. The village continues its audit engagement with the audit firm Baker Tilly. The auditors were in the village on April 24th through the 26th. The detailed audit field work is currently scheduled for August 6th through the 24th. The official audit report is due by the state no later than 180 days after the end of the fiscal year or before October 31st, 2012. The Cook County Clerk Office has released its draft for the 2011 levy dated on the tax agency. For 2011, the equalized assessed value for the Village of Broadview has decreased by 18%. It's even greater than the 15.2% decrease projected in the Village 2011 levy proposal. The effect of the lower EVA will likely result in slightly higher tax rate for the vast majority of the district. Finance Director Jan Baptist will report on the 2011 final levy allocations and their impacts at the next meeting. And then to end this, I just want to make one quick statement. Now, Judy Brown Marino, she sits here and says that she cannot vote on the budget because we don't have one. Now, you are quick to bring in information showing that we are in the wrong when something is going wrong. You've been doing this for 2 years now. I just wish you stopped doing it to the finance department because we have somebody that works for the state and you keep saying that we're not in compliance. So by the next meeting, I want to see something that's saying that the Village of Broadview is not in compliance with the budget. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Morris. Madam Clerk.
Our next committee report, Water, Drainage, and Health, Trustee Brown Marino.
Trustee Morris, last year I brought in quite a bit of material, shared quite a bit with all the board.
Just a point of order,
wasn't doing it again this year because I didn't want to.
Point of order.
Last time there was a policy that's been established. I interrupted Trustee McGruder last minute. With all due respect, Trustee Brown Marino, the policy has been established. If you wish to speak on the issues related to the committee report was it water drainage and water drain and health, you're welcome to do that. But we established a policy here, so I make a point that can't be discussed at this point in time.
Well, actually, I don't believe that the mayor had the authority to make a change like this. Just like when we changed the order of the meeting for public comments and limited that and what have you, any of these types of things should be done by the board, not unilaterally by the mayor. So I would challenge the validity of that new policy, but, so I don't apologize for, responding to Trustee Morris. I don't think that...
I didn't ask for an apology, just specifying what's the policy present before the board.
And I'm saying that I don't believe that that policy is valid. And with that, no report.
I have a brief announcement. Item number 10. I received a notice from Mr. Robert Payton, it's over the Broadview Service Center, requested that their information be posted on the village website. He did comply and send a record copy of that information to be posted on the website. I forwarded over to our IT person. The Broadview Service Center is located 2000 Roosevelt Road in Broadview. They are accepting donation. They distribute food every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can pick up twice a month, and that address is 2000 Roosevelt Road in Broadview. And they're located at the Presbyterian Church, right there on the corner. And also, I received a phone call actually from the county clerk's office. Voter registration will be changing. Prior coming up, the voter registration now will be done. We will be able to now start registering voters online. I will be attending a training on the 20th, and one other person that's registered as a voter registration for the village of Broadview. We will be meeting in Bellwood and District 88 main office and stuff, going to training, so we'll be able to be more efficient in doing the voter registration. So they're looking forward to eliminate the paper registration. And that concludes my report. Mayor Jones?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I've only got a couple of items. The first one is Pastor Wiley from Rock of Ages sent me a fax, and he's hosting a free disaster preparedness training in collaboration with FEMA. And it's going to be at the Rock of Ages Church on Saturday, June 16th. That's Saturday, June 16th at 10 a.m. till noon. He asked me to reach out to our constituents to inform them of the training and ask you all to attend. So anyone that's interested in free disaster preparedness training in collaboration with FEMA, it will be at Rock of Ages on Saturday, June 16th at 10 o'clock. Rock of Ages is at 13th and Madison in Maywood. I've been in contact with Commissioner Larry Rogers' office of the County Board of Review for tax appeals. We had, Karen Yarborough and myself had Commissioner Rogers come out last year to explain to everyone about tax appeals for your property taxes, how the process on the appeal itself. So I do not have the exact date on when he's going to be coming out to do it again, but as soon as I get it, I will let you know. The Park District, our Park District is going to be undergoing some renovations relatively soon. They're going to be having a meeting on it one day this week, I do believe. I'm sure that we're going to get a notice out to you on it. They're going to be restructuring the park quite extensively this week. I got a call about them taking down the basketball rims today, and I do believe that that's probably because they're going to start the renovations or whatever they're going to be doing this week. I don't know. Anyway, as relates to the Neighborhood Watch Program, as Kevin so aptly stated, Brenda Williams is intricately involved in that, and thank you, Ms. Williams, for your participation. Police Officer Koska is also a part of that crew, am I correct? And Commissioner Yancey. So they're just trying to make sure that we keep our streets and sidewalks and everything safe. Please partake of that. And the last thing, and I'm going to yield the floor to the budget officer, because I do know that there have been several budgets passed around, and I want the budget officer to tell you all where we ended last year or the current year and what the projections are for the coming year as it relates to our general fund and how we perform. And the fact that we do have a finalized budget, it is going to print this week. Am I correct?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes, that's correct. I just want to let everyone know that what
got me to ask the mayor to do this. This week I've been approached from people that have told me about how we're spending money on Hummers for our police department, and how directors are giving themselves raises, and how we're doing all of this stuff in the new budget. Well, if you haven't been here, every time the word Hummers come up, no cost of the building follows it. Our department head, specifically the fire and the police department, have done a great job acquiring a lot of equipment for us for free. I know it sounds like an infomercial, but no cost to the village. That is not in our budget. We are not paying for it. Staff, department heads cannot give themselves raises. It has to be approved in the budget. The mayor has to sign off on it before this happens. So if someone is showing you something, there could be copies of information floating around. There might have been budget requests, etc. Stuff we were working on is now being passed around as a budget. There is no budget until it's passed by this board, and it will be in their hands Wednesday morning. Along with, there'll be copies available for view. So all this stuff has been floating around for the last couple months. Don't know where it's coming from. Don't really care because it's useless. It's numbers that may have some basis in reality, or maybe someone made them up. The real budget, the numbers that we will be held to during this fiscal year are going to be on Wednesday. And actually, to my surprise, because we had a shortfall of about $600,000 in revenue this year due to one of the TIPS funds reimbursements to us of sales tax. We have figured out a way to still get most of the things accomplished that we want to get accomplished and have a surplus of over $300,000. Any questions?
Well, maybe you should tell them how extensive the process is and how bad the wish lists were before we played Carvin Marvin and carved it all up.
We call a wish list, but really what people are asking for are things that need to be done. This village went through the ringer in 2006. Fire department was cut back, police department was cut back, public works was basically wiped out. As we have been rebuilding, we cannot just go out and hire all these people back because we need to find ways to hire them back and keep them. I mean, this is a perfect example. In the last couple of years, it was suggested that we use that $600,000 from the TIF districts refunding of sales tax to fund the police. If we'd done that, we would have the $600,000 this year. So there would be 2 guys we'd have to lay off. What we're trying to do is get the equipment and the resources for our to utilize our manpower to the best that can be used. As we build up more revenues, we want to grow our departments back up to a force that is, what's the right word? Reflective of the size of our community. Police department needs 5 more policemen. Fire department needs 6 or 8 more firemen. We're looking at alternative ways to go out and get these. We're looking at grant opportunities. And we're also looking to bring the businesses into town, hopefully that will come into some of the properties that we own. We're not getting sales tax, so that sales tax will start, their property tax will come back to us. And hopefully businesses will generate sales tax on top of it. As we can get some more businesses in, we get some more steady revenues coming in, then we can start taking on expenses that I'm thinking of them in terms of a long-term expense. We want to be able to hire those 5 new policemen and not lay them off in 2 years or 3 years when things, we don't want a surprise to make us lay off people. It would be a shame to invest the time and the effort to train for the training of new firemen, new policemen, if we can't keep them around. On the same sense, we can't be so cheap. We can't get the guys and then they have no cars to drive. So it's a balancing act between what we need and what we can afford. And just like we do at home, we're looking for ways to make our income bigger so we can afford the better things for the village. Going back to what the mayor was saying, the wish list included a lot of improvements. Last year we passed a restructuring program for the police department. A big chunk of that is occurring in this budget. We couldn't do it all in 1 year. So the fire department is on its last leg of most of the ambulances. The fire department has a large responsibility for keeping people safe. We don't want the ambulance to break down on the way to get you if you have a heart attack. So we've got a new ambulance in this budget. So the thing is we are getting these items and we're going to be able to meet the most important items on their wish list, even though I just don't like people using wish lists. It's things that they really need. I did not see
frivolous stuff in these budgets. There was good ideas, well thought out. We just can't afford to do everything today. But we can do more important things, and that's going to lead us down the line to be able to implement them all over time and eventually bring the workforce back up to where we'd like it to be. Going back to the mayor's comment, one of the things that there's been a lot of back and forth about the timing of the budget, and in many ways, Judy Brown-Reno is correct on the way the legislation works. But things have changed so much from March to now in terms of how much revenue we're getting, where we know our expenses are. If we put something together in February, pass it in March, it would be worthless now. Now that we've gotten through the full fiscal year, we know what a lot of the state's projections are for the money that we'll be getting from them next year. We've got a much better idea of our revenues, and we're more likely to be able to cover all of our costs. As a solution to this issue, one of the things I thought about doing is we should just get together after this budget's passed and pass fiscal 14. Because it doesn't really make any difference if we do it now or we do it on March 31st. They're not really good budgets until you do all the work, figure out how much money you're going to get, what you're going to spend it on. But to meet the legal requirements, make everyone happy, we can pass this thing 30 days after we pass fiscal 13s, we'll do fiscal 14s. And then next year, we'll take the time to do what's right. I mean, someone says, well, it's law. If someone tells me to stick my hand in a blender, I'm not going to do it. You know, and you can write that into law. But you can find a way around laws that don't make a lot of sense, that are ineffective, and they're going to hurt you if you don't find a way to handle the process in a fiscally responsible manner. Anything else to you?
No, you covered all the bases. Thank you, Tom.
Can I say one thing? Just one. It's just real small. But the finance director did tell me though that we could put in an extension. You know, she say everybody does. She say even the city of Chicago, they put in extension after extension after extension after extension. If it would make everybody happy to see that we trying to do this thing the right way, because you know we could put in an extension, and I told her that maybe we'll do that next year. So then we won't, when it's time for everybody to vote on the budget, we can all be on the same page. That's it.
That's an excellent idea also. And I also wanted to point out, just to point it out, if we're successful in carrying out this budget, that would be 2 surpluses in a year. And if you look back at 3 years ago, where we had a small deficit of I think it was 165,000. That was the year of the flood. So we had $500,000 of unbudgeted expenses. So really, our last 3 budgets have produced surpluses. The issue is we need to dig ourselves out of the hole that we're in and build a safety net, because you never know when the next storm is going to be. You never know when the next what's causing the $600,000 decrease this year is the property values went down. The increment of the TIF isn't big enough to cover the bond payments. We have to leave the $600,000 there. So we need to get ourselves in a situation where we have surpluses every year. We build it up, and then we can get where we can start expanding, and we will also have that protection in case something bad happens, another storm, state income tax goes in half, the state doesn't pay us our income tax, and just on a lighter note, I don't tell people I work for the state, that's not an endorsement.
Thanks, Tom. You know, in short, and I'm gonna end with this, the village has been fiscally sound for the last 3 years. We've actually been very mindful of doing the budget properly and in order, and as a result, with the exception of the year where we had the floods and the trees being fallen and the snow and everything, we've been in the black 2 years running, would have been 3 had not been for the floods. So thank you very much, Tom. And the last final note is just like anything else, if you've only got enough money to do certain things in your household or anywhere else, you have to prioritize where you're going to spend your money. And so that's where we are right now. We're in the prioritizing stage on how we're going to do our expenditures. So we're going to take care of the most important things first. And public safety is at the top of the list. So it starts with the police and the fire departments, and then it will filter down into the rest of the village from that point on. That's all I got to say. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, and you all be safe.
So moved.
Second.
Probably motion by McGreer, probably second by Abraham. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, tonight's meeting's adjourned.